I wanted to see if I could automate virtual machine deployments. I've set a few rules. No pressure. All right, now that we got the lay of the land and we know how our vCenter inventory is laid out, next we need to figure out how to use the Orchestrator client. Let's get started. One of the things I love about Orchestrator is that when you create a workflow, you usually do not have to do that from scratch. Instead, Orchestrator has a variety of different building blocks that you can assemble together to create the workflow that does what you want. For example, one of those building blocks is your workflow can call other workflows, which is what we see here on the screen. By the way, these different workflows that you see here, you can view them in different views. This here is the cards view. The next view is called the list view. Notice this is the exact same workflows. They're just shown as a list. And by the way, one of the things I like about the list views, down here you can see exactly how many workflows we have here. So Orchestrator, as you can see, comes pre-installed with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of workflows so that you don't have to create your workflow from scratch. You can just call these existing ones. And additionally, we have the tree view, which I think is a great place for somebody new to Orchestrator to start out. So here in the tree view, I'm going to go straight to this folder called library, because what's in here is a collection of folders. Each of these folders is for a different plugin installed in Orchestrator. And what these folders, these plugins provide is those hundreds and hundreds of workflows. Now, what I want to do here is to start automating using the vCenter plugin and the workflows that it supplies. So if we just go into the vCenter folder and take a look at what's here, we have different folders that are being used to organize the gazillion different workflows logically so that we can find things more quickly. For example, I want to create a virtual machine. So let's go into virtual machine management. And in here, looks like we can do things like take snapshots of virtual machines. We can do things with VMware tools in the machines. Where does it say create VMs? I don't see anything that says create or deploy. So maybe creating a virtual machine is something basic. Let's go in here. Yeah. So I have at least one, there may be more, but I have at least one workflow here that's predefined to create virtual machines. All these workflows are wide open if you want to look at them and see how they're implemented. If you want to do so, just select a workflow. And typically you'll probably want to jump straight here to this thing called the schema tab. This is the schema of the workflow. It says what to do. So we're going to start, when we run this workflow, it's going to start at the start schema element, and then it's going to follow these arrows to the next and next and next schema elements until we hit the end schema element. We'll talk more about these things called schemas here in a bit, but what I want you to see is that we already have a workflow that essentially does what we want to do. That's good. So again, this tree view provides you an easy to search way to find workflows that already exist. By the way, when you look at each of these different folders for the different plugins, there'll typically be a folder called configuration, and that folder contains the workflows that you need to run to configure this, in this case, the vCenter plugin. So you potentially need to add a vCenter instance to teach Orchestrator how to talk to vCenter. All right, let's go back up and let's go back to that cards view just to show you that it's possible to find workflows in any of these views. I can go up here and I can say search for, what was that one called? Create simple virtual machine. I can search by name. I can search using tags. I can search a variety of different ways, but let's find all the workflows called create simple something. So what do we have here? Well, we've got three different workflows, but again, this is the workflow that I'm interested in particular. All right, now that we understand the Orchestrator client, we can start creating our first Orchestrator workflow. Join me in the next video and we'll get started.